Hello, everyone. What is going on? James here, and today I want to discuss with you why England is finished, doomed, kaput. And this reason is detrimental, it's serious, it's dead important. No other country in the world suffers with this like England does. To another level, this is probably one of the biggest issues in England right now. The driving, it is unreal how bad the driving is in England. Notice how I don't say the UK, right? Wales, there's some bad driving here and there. And I've never been to Scotland and Northern Ireland, so I'm not sure what the driving's like there. But in England, it's horrendous. The driving. One of the worst pieces of driving I see is someone in a really fast car. I don't get people in fast car. Well, I don't get some people in fast cars who like to show off, like, oh, I can put my foot down and go well over the speed limit and get up your backside really quick, or zoom off like a lunatic. Look at me. It just seems really baffling, to be honest, because all they're doing is wearing the car out really and running it into the ground. So it just baffles me. But anyway, a lot of drivers in fast cars, or just any car really, going well over the speed limit, up your backside like this, and then they go like that and take over. And 99% of the time, I genuinely mean this, they overtake and then I catch up to them at the next traffic light. And I always go the speed limit. I'm always going 30 miles an hour when it says to on a main road. Obviously, you slow down here and there and what have you. But whenever I can go 30 miles an hour, I'm going 30 miles an hour. I'm not going over the speed limit for anyone. That is ridiculous. Why would you do that? There's been situations where if I personally, if I've been going over the speed limit, I could have seriously hurt someone. I was going 30 miles an hour once, and this kid ran into the road at the last second, and he was literally like next level close to my car. And I was like, man, that's just insane. If I'd been going over the speed limit, I could have hit him and killed him. Obviously, it was his fault for running in the road right at the last second, but like, damn, if I'd been going over the speed limit, I'd be in jail and he could be seriously hurt or dead. There was another time where this person walked across the road when I was turning right. And I know, obviously, when you pull out of a junction, if you zoom out, it's not technically going over the speed limit, but I didn't zoom off like a lunatic. What I did was go, then slow down because some person walked into the road at the last second, which is ridiculous. If I'd been zooming off like a madman, they'd be dead or seriously hurt. So at the end of the day, the driving in the UK is really bad. And as I say, the worst example is when people are at your backside overtaking you, then they get to the next light and you're right behind them. It's just pointless. What's the point of going that fast and overtaking, doing such a risky maneuver for little reward, and also it's illegal to go over the speed limit like that. Another issue I have is just people bloody barging through all the time, like when you've got loads of parked traffic on the other side of the road, and they just are like, oh, I'm coming through like that, just driving like an absolute buffoon. And I get that you have to stop. Like if someone's already coming through when there's loads of traffic, say if there's traffic on this side of the road and someone's already coming through, you do have to stop. You can't just barge through while they're already barging through. But it's still ridiculous how many people just barge through like lunatics. Like, fair enough if loads of people keep coming through and you're like, that's it, I've had enough of waiting, no one's letting me through, then fair enough. But like if straight away, if you're just barging through like an absolute buffoon, then you're gonna cause an accident or hurt someone or whatever, or crash, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's mostly overtaken and people going way too fast. And the thing is, with speeding, right, people think, oh, I've got the best reactions in the world, 10 out of 10. But it doesn't matter if your reactions make, if you've somehow got reactions that will make Floyd Mayweather's next level reactions look minuscule compared to you, it doesn't matter, right? Because if someone walks into the road at the last second and you hit them, there's nothing you can do going at that speed. So the excuse of like, oh, I've got brilliant reactions, I can speed, is absolutely nonsensical and ridiculous. I've seen quite a few times where people have pulled out, like when there's been a red light and they've just gone anyway the last second. That's really annoying and stupid. People like turning right when they're basically, if a car's come past and then other people are like turning right. I had that once. It was horrendous, right? When I was driving straight on, it was green light, people were waiting to turn right. So three geezers turn right, like three people in the car turn right, and I put my foot down. And instead of them zooming off, they just turned right and just stuck there like this. And then I braked and like I was like, what the fuck? What's the point? Then they just, you know, were sticking their fingers up and just sped off. And I just thought, like, the mentality of people, man, it's just absolutely nonsensical and ridiculous. Once there was this massive queue right by this junction, and I was towards the back of the queue. It's just a horrendous place to drive. This, like, cars, horrendous parking, horrendous place to go through. But I have to go through there to get to work, sadly. So I was waiting at this junction, and Ford Fiesta overtook me and other cars, and then it bumped this car like this, and then just while there was a car turning right, it just sort of went round that car on the wrong side of the road that it shouldn't be on, and then just zoomed off. I'm just thinking, God, they bumped a car and didn't stop, and then it just makes you think the car probably wasn't insured and they were just trying to drive off and escape. But man, very scary and worrying. Another issue I have as well with those big queues is that no one ever stops, man. No one ever, it feels like less and less people will let someone out of a junction, you know, even when it's slow traffic, less and less people will let someone out, or when there's a big gap and when the traffic's moving a bit slow, they're just, I guess it's just the mentality of people. They just don't want to let people out. They're in such a rush. Their journey's far more important than this person who's been waiting ages to pull out at a junction, you know, and is holding up the traffic. Well done, you know. Yeah, never let anyone out. Thank you. I don't know if this can count as driving, but there are some cyclists which are really annoying and think they're on the road and block like the whole road instead of being single file. Like, if it's one cyclist riding, fair enough. But when you've got, I should probably make a separate video on this, but like when you've got one cyclist riding, it's all well and good, I guess. But when you've got, like, I remember once there was like 9 cyclists on the road, I'm just thinking, who do all of you think you are blocking the traffic like that? That is such a 1 out of 10 ignorant thing to do. I don't care if you're being great and environmental and bloody exercising and whatever. Like, 9 of you in a row, you know, that's stupid. That's moronic. You can cause an accident. You can hurt yourself or other people. It's just disgusting and ridiculous on there, and to be honest. But that doesn't happen often. Most cyclists, it's just one person. But sometimes when there's groups of them, I just think, like, what are you doing? You just want to cause an accident. I guess sometimes as well, let's just talk about roads in general, not just driving. People just walking into the road, and I hate it when, right, you've got people they're walking to the road and they're walking really, really slow. I'm not on about old people or people who you can tell by when they're walking have physical problems. Like, people just walking normal. Oh, look at me, I'm walking slow in the road and the car's gonna have to slow down. Oh, I've been hit. And like, obviously they're not gonna get hit. You are gonna slow the car down, but they wouldn't be laughing or they wouldn't be acting like, oh, look at me, I'm so tough, I'm a gangster, and then they get hit by a car. They wouldn't be very tough then, would they? They'd just be on the floor. Obviously, I'm not advising anyone hit them and run them over or whatever, but what I do think is that it's just, you know, ridiculous that some people walk really, really slow in the road thinking they're the coolest thing ever, and then, like, what, just making people put their foot down. Why not at least walk across the road a bit quick? It's just stupid. On the other end, though, sometimes when I've walked across the road, people have, like, sped up, and I'm just thinking, like, mate, what? Like, there's so much room. Like, basically, like, there's a car far away and it's just, like, sort of sped up, and I just think, like, what who do you think you are? Like, what is this going to prove? You know, just speeding up. Oh, I'm so intimidated by someone putting their foot down. You know. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. England's finished, man. The driving's horrendous. We are donezo. Finished. Kaput. Boom. Game over. No, but on a serious note, the driving is really bad. Not all drivers, but some of the driving's just absolute cack. It's just unbelievable. And it baffles me because all it really takes to be a good driver is sort of knowing where you're going, reacting at the right times, not getting too annoyed behind the wheel, not being too annoying by the wheel, not speeding, and just not being a buffoon. And that's another thing as well. People speeding, show off and racing. That's just ridiculous. But I don't think I need to go into that too much. I think everyone knows why that's stupid. People can get hurt. It's ridiculous. It's daft behaviour, and it's just a total 1 out of 10 to just try and race on roads. If you want to become a racer, get in the go-karting, try and join the Formula One or Formula E or whatever. Well, graft at the go-karting for years, or just go go-karting for fun. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's there for, isn't it? You know, the roads where random people are driving, that's not there for bloody farting around and driving like a mad person and a maniac. That's ridiculous. Yeah, that's all I've really got to say today. Cheers for watching. Have a good one. See you. Laters.